You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, KOAM's Amber Jenkins sits down with some Joplin residents to hear their reaction after the city council votes to tear down Joplin's Memorial Hall.
Also, OSHA is ready to roll out new standards to help first responders. We'll hear thoughts from a few of them on the new regulations.
And it's another hot day across the area. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Tuesday morning here in the 4 states. It's already warm outside again. It's going to be really hot again later, too.
Absolutely, yes.
That's something that we're just going to have to deal with, unfortunately. And we'll get into the details on that, plus maybe some rain chances here in just a moment, and some concerned citizens in Joplin this morning.
Joplin community members pushed back after the city council votes to demolish Memorial Hall and build a memorial park in its place.
KOAM's Amber Jenkins had a chance to meet with a few of them to hear their concerns.
Joplin City Council members voted to demolish Memorial Hall to build Memorial Park in its place. Since the council vote, some community members are upset that the vote wasn't open to residents.
Big things like this should not be left up to a handful of individuals to decide. It should go to the public vote.
Landris is a member of the Facebook group called Save the Joplin Memorial Hall. Most of the 500 members want to preserve Memorial Hall as a piece of Joplin history rather than replacing it with a park.
And we're not against, that kind of stuff. It's actually kind of neat to see. You can see all kinds of birds and stuff. But big stuff like this needs to go to a public vote.
Before the council voted to replace Memorial Hall with a park, City Manager Nick Edwards noted that the public did not vote to demolish Memorial Hall when the public voted on a remodeling proposal in April of 2022.
I think it's important to note when we did that election, we never went to the public and said, if you don't vote yes on this, that we'll be forced to tear it down. And so that might have a different impact.
Funding for both the demolition and creation of a new park will be identified after the design process is complete. Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Now, KOAM has reached out to the city of Joplin but has yet to receive a response.
So that's a really difficult position because we did have that proposition to get some general obligation bonds to renovate and expand Memorial Hall, but a lot of things going on then. It did not pass. But as Nick Edwards mentioned, it didn't specifically state either that if it doesn't, we're going to tear it down. But I know that when they were trying to push for that, there's a lot of issues with Memorial Hall that need to be fixed. And it's been a while since that election, and it just makes you wonder what kind of condition it's in all this time later as well.
Absolutely.
So hopefully folks can sort that all out and figure out what the next best move is. And your next best move for today is to try and stay indoors as much as possible because it's going to be another hot one. Quick look outside from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin, and you can see just a couple of clouds out there. Otherwise, we've got those sunny skies ahead of a hot day and ample sunshine on the MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line as well as folks get their day underway. Future track showing us again a less than 5% chance of maybe a pop-up shower or storm this afternoon. I think similar to yesterday, we're going to see maybe those clouds try and do something, but I don't think they're going to do much as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. But our temperatures, a slight improvement over yesterday for our highs. We'll talk about that in just a second. First, where we are now, still some low 70s to the southeast. The rest of us hanging on mid, even upper 70s as we get the day underway. We're going to have south winds occasionally gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour, so breezy like yesterday. Will be mostly clear to partly cloudy, highs upper 80s, a lot more upper 80s. Yesterday we saw a lot more low 90s. Today, 2 or 3 degrees cooler. So it's not a significant improvement. It's not one you're probably going to notice, but technically speaking, a bit cooler today, upper 80s. We still have those heat index values, though, today for most of us pushing 95 to 100 degrees, so still dangerous heat across the area. We will get a brief break, at least from the humidity and those heat index values, but then it's going to turn around and get hot again. We'll break down the details on that and some rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Authorities respond to a shooting last night in Joplin. Joplin police responded to reports of gunfire near 18th and Annie Baxter in Joplin at about 8:30 yesterday evening. Officials confirmed that at least 2 people were rushed to Joplin hospitals suffering gunshot wounds. A few hours later, around 11:05, Joplin SWAT were called to a residence located about 4 blocks southeast from the scene of a shooting that had taken place earlier that evening. Tactical vehicles arrived at the house on West 20th, and witnesses say one male came out of the house and was taken into custody. Joplin police tell us that they could not confirm if the male was connected to the shooting that took place earlier. Well, voters in Oklahoma head to the polls today to cast their ballots in the state's primary election. In Ottawa and Delaware counties, voters will decide the Republican candidate for state offices, including corporation officer and District 1 state senator. There are also some county office primaries in Delaware County and a tax question in the town of Bernice. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. OSHA, the federal agency that sets and enforces standards for workplace conditions, is proposing a new standard intending to help protect emergency responders. But firefighters across the country are speaking out about the potential impacts this rule would have. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
First responders like firefighters are known to be in dangerous jobs, but OSHA is hoping to help make these work environments as safe as possible. They say that, quote, existing safety and health standards do not adequately protect the emergency response workforce from these hazards. OSHA has proposed a set of new regulations that would replace the current fire brigade standard implemented in 1980.
From what I can gather from the OSHA is they're wanting to combine a whole bunch of like 22 guidelines into one mandate. Mandate is a little scarier.
Fire departments and associations across the country are speaking out against the proposed standards, including the National Volunteer Fire Council. Departments like the Dunaweg Volunteer Fire Department say several parts of the regulations could be impactful, such as not owning a truck more than 15 years old.
The people that are out here doing the job understands that some of this stuff's not going to work. Okay? There's some fire departments can't write a check for $500,000 for a fire truck.
Another concern they have is the 2-in, 2-out rule. This rule states that if you have 2 people in a house fire, you have to have 2 people outside to help them. Departments say although that standard is safe and ideal, it's not realistic.
The fact that if you wait until you have 2 people outside on some of these rural departments, it's going to be a lot more property damage than what we're used to seeing. So there's some problems with that.
He says while his department may not be too impacted by these regulations, others in smaller and more rural areas will be hit hard.
They don't always have a huge budget. They don't have a tax base. So, you know, it takes 5 years of chili feeds just to buy a used truck. And those are the departments that are going to be affected the most.
Reporting in Dunaweg, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
OSHA says they welcome and encourage public comments in response to the proposed rule. They've extended the window for comment until July 22nd, and you can learn more on our website, koamnewsnow.com. And those are our top stories this half hour. Coming up next, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society joins us, and she wants to invite you to help celebrate 51 years of service the Humane Society has brought to the community. We'll be right back, but before we head to break, here's a live look from Kellogg Lake in Carthage in honor of National Fishing Day. Well, the SEK Humane Society is celebrating 51 years of service in the 4 states. And Jasmine Kyle, the director, is with us to share how the Humane Society plans to celebrate. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for being with us. Talk to me about, your plans to commemorate 51 years in Southeast Kansas. It's incredible.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like it was one of those mile markers last year when we were like, wow, it's our 50th and now it's our 51st. So it just time always flies, but we're blessed to have been able to be in this community for that long. We hope we have that many years ahead of us, but right now what we're doing in celebration of 51 years, we're having our biggest adoption event where we lower fees to just $5
Wow.
and 10 cents
Yes.
for 51. So until the end of June, all of our fur babies out at the shelter will just be $5.10. And they've already been spayed and neutered,
Yes.
altered, microchipped, up to date on vaccinations. And then our dogs are even heartworm tested.
Okay,
so
yes.
a lot of that core medical work has already been done. They're ready to go. We also want to make it very clear that if you would like to foster to adopt during the timeline, we will absolutely honor that. So if you come in the last day of June and be like, yeah, can I do a foster to adopt
Right.
that leads into July? We're fine with that. We'll
Okay,
honor
wonderful. Yes. And then we do have some, footage of some of the dogs
Yeah.
that are available to adopt. If you wouldn't mind sharing about some of these guys on here. And look
Yeah,
how cute
absolutely.
They are. Yes.
So you can see all of our animals on our website.
Right.
That's up for adoption. But this is Raph. He's such a cool little guy. He's a gray
cute.
tabby cat. We've had him for a while, which is strange, but he is just the creme de la creme of a cat. He's very social, loves to play. Ace is an amazing dog. We don't get a whole lot of small dogs out of our
Right,
shelter. It's a
yes.
lot of larger dogs. He barely comes up to my knee.
Oh, how cute.
Does great with other dogs. Beans. He is brand new to our shelter. He is a Catalua leopard dog.
Oh,
He has
wow.
heterochromia, so you see those two colored eyes,
Yes,
and he
up
does
there.
well with cats too. So he does good
Oh,
with dogs
wonderful.
or cats. And then Dingo. She's stunning, as you can see.
Yes.
We believe that she is a Dutch German Shepherd
Okay.
mix.
How interesting.
But she's done great with other dogs. And Miss Hen has a very special place in my heart. We've had her for 2 years, bless her. She was dumped out at the mining trail next to us. It's something that we talk about with the public a lot, to don't just dump your animals. They
Right.
don't understand what's going on. She waited there for 6 days.
Oh
We
my
couldn't
goodness,
move
wow.
that dog for 6 days. And thankfully, she had another dog that was able to assist her with getting trust built up, and now she's just amazing. But she does great with other dogs. Again, all of these animals
Yes.
are ready to find their homes and good to go.
For
So
$5.10
Yeah.
could change a little dog or cat's life. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And we'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:16, just about to be 7:17 on this Tuesday morning. We're starting with the future track. Could see a few clouds out there, so we're going to go mostly clear, partly cloudy across the area. And again, a stray pop-up shower or storm. I think it's going to be a lot like yesterday. We're looking at a less than 5% chance of seeing rain. We may see the clouds try to get something going, but I believe we're going to remain dry throughout today. And then we may see a stray shower overnight, but again, we're talking a less than 5% chance. As we head into Wednesday morning, we're mostly clear to start the day, and then by the noon hour, we'll start to see a few additional clouds rolling in, and that's where we're going to have that opportunity by the evening hours, late afternoon, early evening, for pop-up storms. But take a look at this, a few more of those pop-up storms possible. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. One, they're going to be pop-up storms, so not everybody's going to see rain, and two, they don't really move a lot. Pop-up storms flare up, they drift a little, and then they begin to die out as we lose the heating of the day. So we're not expecting any severe weather, but at least some of us may see some much-needed rainfall by tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening. Our UV index today is an 11. That is extreme. Burn time is less than 10 minutes for unprotected skin. So make sure you're taking precautions out there, limiting your time outdoors, and if at all possible, just avoid being outdoors. Our heat risk for today is moderate with a couple of areas of major. So that moderate is those heat index values 95 to 100 degrees out there. But between the rain, cloud cover, and some just drying out a little bit in terms of the moisture in the air, our heat risk goes to minor for Wednesday and Thursday. But by the weekend, temperatures start to heat up and heat index values go right up along with them. So we see a lot more of that moderate across the area by Friday. And then by the time we hit Saturday, we've got moderate to major, and that major is heat index values 100 to 105. I apologize. So again, reminders on ways to keep yourself safe. Keep your pets indoors and do early morning walks when it's not nearly as hot. Keep kids indoors if you can. Otherwise, make sure they're hydrated. Water, Pedialyte pops. If you do have to work outside, make sure you're finding shade, taking breaks, and staying hydrated yourself. And then the elderly, like kids, very susceptible to this kind of heat, so make sure you are checking in on them. Our camera 7th and range line, again, a couple of stray clouds out there. 76, dew point and humidity both up. South-southeast breeze at 18, gusting to 28. And that south wind will continue to gust upwards of 30 miles an hour through today. So another breezy day for us. Still have some low 70s off in our southeastern counties. The rest of us still sitting in the mid 70s, and we'll eventually warm into the low 80s by late morning with mostly clear skies, mostly clear to partly cloudy. Same into the afternoon, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Little cooler, not noticeably cooler, but technically cooler. Upper 80s for most of us, and maybe a couple of low 90-degree readings out there. Mostly clear skies again through the evening and overnight hours, falling back into the low 70s. Got those pop-up storms tomorrow, still holding on to the upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday, and again with some slightly lower humidity and dew point levels, so the heat index value still up there, but not nearly as high. However, as mentioned, we head into the weekend. Temperatures increase, low mid-90s. That puts our heat index values into the low 100s potentially, and we'll see additional pop-up storm chances Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, the Neosho Arts Council wants to invite you to a couple of free concerts happening this weekend. Josh Novak, one of the board members, is with us this morning to share what you can expect when you stop by. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, these concerts are in commemoration of Make Music Day, which is going to be on June 21st. So can you talk to me a little bit about, why you're celebrating Make Music Day with these concerts?
Well, it's this amazing event. The June 21st is the longest day of the year, and there's over 1,000 cities participating around the world in Make Music Day. And it's supposed to be a free event for music making. It's also supposed to enable future music makers. It's really a fantastic event, and 1,000 cities are participating, so it's definitely widely celebrated.
Absolutely. And so these are going to be 2 concerts. Can you talk to me a little bit about the specific concerts and the type of music that they're offering? These are free to the public, they're family friendly. Just share to me what kind of music people can expect to listen to.
Yeah. So the first one that we have is Asher Perkins at the National Fish Hatchery, and this is on their pavilion. So Asher Perkins specializes in blues and jazz. He references Nat King Cole, B.B. King, all of the greats. And he writes a lot of his own music as well. And then the next one, so the one at the pavilion, it's a come and go lunch event. So you can bring your lunch. You can enjoy it. It's at 11:30.
Okay.
And that combination between the hatchery and this music, I think, will be a great midday event. So.
Certainly. And there's one in the evening that starts at 6:30 p.m. as well. Can you talk to me a little bit about that one?
Yeah, that one is Common Roots, and so they will be playing at Big Spring Park at 6:30. And the great thing is it's an outdoor event. I mean, great and negative, right? Thinking about sunscreen, bringing chairs, all of those things. And if you decide to bring your little ones, Big Spring Park is really a fantastic spot because children 8 and under can sit around and play in the wading pool while there's live music. There's a family of ducks that kind of stop traffic as they cross the street. And also we're going to be passing out sidewalk chalk for kids who want to kind of draw and do something as well as listen to music.
Great family event. And the Neosho Arts Council is also sponsoring some summer programs for students in music. Can you talk to me a little bit about that and why you're supporting, community involvement for kids in music?
Yeah. So we got a donation of Horner harmonicas, and we also are sponsoring some musicians to go around and play with kids at their summer school programs, right? And so right now it's only in the Neosho School District, but we're hoping to expand for places that want to participate. But we just feel it's really important, not just visual arts, we want to support theater, music, everything. And so to give these kids a chance to play something, maybe some of these kids have never played a musical instrument before. So a one-day lesson, they get to take home the harmonica, and then we're also going to give them some links to videos and stuff so they can maybe fall in love with it and become the next, big thing in 10 years.
There you go. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Just a reminder, the concerts take place this Friday, June 1st, and we'll, of course, have more information on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. We're back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Elise Snowy. A southeast Kansas town is earning national recognition for its revitalization efforts. Every year, the Smithsonian Magazine puts out its list of the best small towns to visit. This year, Humboldt, Kansas made the cut. With a population of just over 1,800, the magazine credits the organization A Bolder Humboldt with redeveloping the community as a hotspot for entrepreneurs and tourists.
Humboldt made the cut because we're doing something. A lot of years ago, we decided that we were in decline and thought that if that nobody's going to come save us, we need to do the work ourselves, and so not only government but also private individuals, which is what this story is about, is the businesses that are being created here to revitalize Humboldt.
You can find the full list on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Also, in Baxter Springs, Kansas residents yesterday got a lesson on beekeeping. The Cherokee County area beekeepers hosted the class at the Johnston Public Library for adults and teens curious about the little pollinators. The intro-level course taught them the basics of caring for a hive and all the benefits that come with it.
To learn to not be afraid of bees, what they can do in their own homes and yards to be more helpful to the environment, maybe not spray quite so many things, and maybe not trim those dandelions the first few weeks that they're out, give those bees a chance to work on those foods.
The USDA says bees are a crucial part of the ecosystem, pollinating crops, trees, and flowers. While many people can't wait to light up fireworks season, the state fire marshal says safety must come first. Even though drought conditions in Missouri have eased, the Division of Fire Safety is urging Missourians to continue to exercise extreme caution if they choose to use consumer fireworks as part of 4th of July celebrations. Across the nation, July 4th is not only the busiest day of the year for fireworks, it's the busiest day of the year for fires. It's also a busy day for injuries. We have a complete list of tips to keep you and your family safe while enjoying fireworks on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. The financial website Wallet Hub released its list of the most patriotic states in America, and you might be surprised where the 4 states landed. While Virginia topped the list overall, Kansas took the top spot in our area, coming in at 14th overall. The Show Me State came in at 22nd, followed by Oklahoma at 38th, and Arkansas came in at number 50. Wallet Hub based its poll on a number of factors, including military enlistees and veterans per state, share of adults who voted in the 2020 presidential election, and AmeriCorps volunteers per capita. You can check out the website, our website rather, for a link to the full list. Now here's Chris with a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we got another hot day across the area and really a less than 5% chance of seeing a shower or two. MoDOT camera 32nd range line looking back to the west. Plenty of cars on the road, plenty of sunshine out there as well. Future track heading into the afternoon and evening will go mostly clear to partly cloudy out there. And otherwise, as you saw, a couple of pop-up showers try to get going this afternoon. But like yesterday, I think we'll see the clouds try. I don't think we're really going to get much out of it. We're otherwise going to be hot. We're also going to be breezy. South winds today gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. So another breezy one for us. Temperatures this morning, we've still got some cool spots, low 70s in our southeastern counties. Elsewhere, we're in the mid and even upper 70s as we get the day underway. We are looking at highs to be a pinch cooler than yesterday. You're not really going to notice the difference, but technically speaking, we'll be a little cooler with our highs into the upper 80s, maybe a couple of low 90s. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Again, breezy. Our heat index values, though, you're not going to notice much difference there either. Most of us looking at 95 to 100 degrees, so still potentially dangerous heat. We're going to get a little bit of relief from those heat index values. Temperatures won't change much, but the heat index values will come down a bit, and then the summer heat returns. We'll talk about when that's going to happen and about some other rain chances we have on the horizon here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. And let's look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A car show in California aims to help elderly patients who battle Alzheimer's and dementia. And it's National Fishing Day, and what a better way to celebrate than a live look from Kellogg Lake in Carthage.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Our good friend Charlene Patton joining us all the way down from Topeka with the Kansas Soybean Commission. Always a pleasure to have you here. And we've been doing some exciting recipes that are great for kids because summer school doesn't last all summer. They've got to still learn. It keeps them out of trouble, and it also gives them something incredible to eat, something healthy to eat. And number one thing, they're still learning without sometimes realizing they're learning.
Exactly. It's a fun way to learn. And we're doing all kinds of recipes this month at different steps. We showed the thrill of skill. I've got it here. But be sure when you call our office for recipes this month, Megan will include the thrill of skill. And this tells at what age kids can do different skills to help in the kitchen. And we have it starting out at age 2. So that's a fun way.
Get started fairly early.
That's right. This recipe is a strawberry surprise cupcake. I love it. It's such a fun recipe for kids. I've already made the cupcake here, but this cupcake is more like a sponge cake.
Okay.
It uses margarine in it and granulated sugar that you beat till it's nice and fluffy. And then we're going to alternately add our flour, baking powder, and a little bit of salt with a half a cup of vanilla soy milk. And I've got this here for you to show because this is, it says very vanilla on it, but this is such a great snack for kids during the summer. If you're going to the ballpark and you need something, keep that in the cooler. It also comes chocolate, and you can use that as a snack as well as for the cake. So after you bake the cupcakes, we're going to let them cool good, and then we're going to make a little indentation in here so that we can actually put a strawberry in there. Now I found this is actually a lettuce core, and it's plastic, so it's serrated, but it's easy for kids to use.
Yeah.
So you can do that. I'll let you do that one.
All right, let's
and
see
then
if I
what we're
can.
going to do is put that strawberry, just push it down in there. Yeah, look at you. And if you don't have one of those, then just use a serrated plastic knife. Did you pull that out there?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if my hole's quite big enough, but that's all right.
And however your child does it, just push it in there and it's perfect. And then what we're going to do now is take a frosting. I love this frosting. It's so nice and creamy. It again uses our margarine, which is our soy ingredient, with 2 cups of powdered sugar. And then with that, I mixed in 1/4 cup of strawberry jelly or jam.
Okay.
And we're going to cover that strawberry up there with that. And if you want to make it it has a little vanilla in it too, but if you want to make it a little creamy, I'll do this for you and cover that up.
Probably a good idea.
If you want to make it a little creamier, just add a little bit of the soy vanilla milk, and it doesn't take very much. 1 to 3 teaspoons is just start out with 1 teaspoon if you want it. And then we put a strawberry on the top to decorate it a little bit. But then look here, when you open it up, cut that in, you've got that strawberry in the center. It makes a lovely dessert.
And that's why it's a strawberry surprise.
That's
you see the one on top, you do not see the one inside the
That's
cupcake.
right, that's right.
All right, and real quick, we did want to mention with the thrill of skill, you also have soy crayons, which is something very unique. They're just regular crayons. They're made with soy though, and the thing is the oil from just 1 bushel of soybeans can make about 2,100 crayons. A whole acre of soybeans can make over 82,000 of these, which is incredible.
Amazing.
And you can get those as well.
That's right. They're free this month. And if they call the Kansas Soybean office at 877-KS-SOYBEAN, Megan is going to send you the recipes. She's going to send you activities to do with the kids and the crayons, so you'll have all kinds of things to do with your children this summer.
All right, Charlene, thanks so much for joining us. And of course, it'll be on our website as well later this morning, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:42, just about to be 7:43 on this Tuesday morning. We're starting with the future track. We're going to be mostly clear, partly cloudy heading into the afternoon. And similar to yesterday, we've got that less than 5% chance of maybe a pop-up shower or storm. But I do believe we're going to remain dry as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. We do have also a very low chance of maybe a stray shower or two overnight as well. But again, I think most of us will remain dry. Now for our Wednesday, we're going to start the day mostly clear. And then we're going to see an opportunity for a few more widespread pop-up showers and thunderstorms as we head into the late afternoon and early evening hours. Take a look at that. Not everybody will see rain because these are pop-up storms. And the other catch to pop-up storms is when we put this in motion, they don't really move a lot. They kind of just sit in that area for a little bit and then eventually die out. But at least some of us will get some rain. And the other side of this, too, is we're going to get some relief from the heat over the next couple of days. Not significant relief, but at least a little bit out there. Our UV index today is an 11. That is extreme. It means burn time for exposed skin is less than 10 minutes. So make sure that you are, first off, if you can just avoid being outdoors, do so. It's going to be hot anyway. Otherwise, if you have to be outside, make sure you're taking precautions. Our heat risk today, most of us in the moderate zone, so that's heat index values 95 to 100 degrees. But as mentioned, Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to get a little break in that heat. It's minor. It's still going to be hot. I want you to understand. I'm not saying it's going to suddenly cool down or we're going to get snow or something crazy. It's still going to be hot, but the heat index values will be a bit more manageable. That's a brief relief, though. As we head into Friday, the moderate risk begins to return across the area, and by Saturday, we're back to moderate to major. And remember, major is heat index values of 100 to 105. So reminders on how to stay safe. Make sure you're taking your pets on early morning walks and that they are otherwise indoors. Keep your kids hydrated, water, Pedialyte pops, and keep them inside when you can. I know they want to go out and play, but you're going to have to watch them. If you yourself have to be outside working, find shade. Make sure you're staying hydrated. And just like kids, the elderly, susceptible to the heat, make sure you're checking in on them as well. A few clouds out there from our camera. 7th and range line, breezy. Winds out of the south-southeast, gusting to 28, 76 in Joplin. Dew point humidity both up there. That's why it's going to be another muggy day, but again, it's also going to be windy. Those south winds will continue to gust upwards of about 30 miles an hour. Still some low 70s technically in Monette, Cassville. The rest of us, again, mid-upper 70s as we continue to warm up today. We're going to go mostly clear to partly cloudy through the morning, low 80s. That's what I mean. It's a little bit of an improvement. You're talking mid-upper 80s yesterday by late morning, so a little better. More upper 80s for highs today. It's not a noticeable difference, but we're going to see more 80s, few less 90-degree readings out there. We'll stay mostly clear through the evening and overnight and falling back into the low 70s. Then, of course, we got our pop-up storm chances tomorrow. We hang out in the upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday, and then as we head into the weekend, take a look at those temperatures getting into the low to mid 90s, which could push our heat index values into the low 100s again. We'll also, though, see some additional chances for some evening pop-up storms Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Consumer Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the U.S. Surgeon General is calling on Congress to require warning labels be added to social media platforms. Dr. Vivek Murthy wrote in an article in the New York Times yesterday that social media is a contributing factor to the mental illness crisis seen in young people. The intended label would be similar to the mandatory warning labels on cigarette boxes. According to data from the Pew Research Center in 2022, social media is used by up to 95% of young people from the age of 13 to 17. Well, Uncle Sam has his hand out again on Monday for some workers who owe taxes 4 times a year. Monday's the day to pay up or pay big next April for those who have to file quarterly estimated income taxes. That applies especially to those who are self-employed or those who have income that isn't subject to withholding, such as having a side gig business. The IRS currently bills late payers with an 8% interest charge. A test run using artificial intelligence in ordering is ending at the Golden Arches. Trade publication Restaurant Business says McDonald's is pulling out AI voice technology from drive-through ordering by July 26th from about 100 of its restaurants. The trials have been running since 2021 to test speed and accuracy with AI in order taking. A McDonald's executive says the company wants to evaluate voice ordering more broadly, and IBM will remain a partner in its global systems. And those are our top consumer stories. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, nearly 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. And in honor of Father's Day this past weekend, a special celebration helped seniors battling Alzheimer's and dementia with a special car show.
As Danya Bacchus shows us, classic cars can be key to reviving memory.
Classic cars are known to spark a trip down memory lane.
We are car people.
And for Irma and Eddie Acosta, it's doing that and more.
We like that car there.
Irma has Alzheimer's disease, and this vintage car show, along with the Dixieland Jazz Band at Mount of Olives Church in Mission Viejo, California, is unlocking some of the good times she shared with her husband of 62 years.
Oh yeah, because she started dancing right away.
Yeah, we were dancing.
Nobody
was dancing, only us.
With early stages of Alzheimer's dementia, there's often memory issues that go along with that.
Pastor Jim Rainin is with Mount of Olives. The church runs an adult day program that serves those with cognitive impairment.
So for a lot of our participants, when they come here and they see cars that are of years that maybe bring them back to a happy memory, it triggers some of those experiences that they had growing up.
In addition to car shows like this one, the program's also known as the Friendship Club, which provides social interactions that help against the effects of dementia and Alzheimer's.
You have exercise, you have nutrition, but social interaction is key in there. There's a lot of studies that show that the social interaction is key to maintaining their cognition.
Interaction that brings families together as they reconnect to their past.
By 2050, the number of people age 65 and older with Alzheimer's may grow to a projected 12.7 million.
Certainly a staggering statistic there.
Right.
And things like this, though, anything you can do to help is always beneficial.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's going to be another hot one. I wish I could do more to help that, but I can only tell you what's going to happen. I can't control what's going to happen. We've had this discussion before. Let's start with a look at the future track as we head into the afternoon and evening. Again, mostly clear, partly cloudy skies. As you can see, we have an opportunity for maybe a pop-up shower or two, but those chances, like yesterday, less than 5%. Temperatures this morning on the mild side to start. We're starting to see a lot more mid and upper 70s out there, and we'll continue to heat up as we head into the afternoon. Highs today a little bit cooler than yesterday. You're not going to be able to tell the difference, but technically speaking, a little cooler. We're looking at a lot more upper 80s, a few less 90-degree readings out there with those mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. We'll also have the winds gusting out of the south again, upwards of 30 miles an hour. We are going to see some additional rain chances tomorrow. We'll talk about that in the forecast and the news you need to know when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Joplin police responded to reports of gunfire near 18th and Annie Baxter in Joplin at about 8:30 yesterday evening. Joplin police confirmed that at least 2 people were rushed to Joplin Hospital suffering gunshot wounds. Joplin City Council members voted to demolish Memorial Hall to build Memorial Park in its place, but some community members are upset the vote wasn't open to residents. A large group of residents want to preserve Memorial Hall as a piece of Joplin history rather than replacing it with a park. And voters in Oklahoma head to the polls today to cast their ballots in the state's primary election. In Ottawa and Delaware counties, voters will decide the Republican candidate for state offices, including corporation officer and District 1 state senator. Polls opened at 7 a.m. and will close at 7 p.m.
That's going to be a hot one today. Again, upper 80s out there, maybe a couple of low 90s. Heat index values about 95 to 100. South winds gusting to 30 with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Same as we head into the evening and overnight hours, falling back into low 70s. We have some pop-up storm chances, slightly better ones tomorrow by late afternoon, early evening, and we'll hold on to decent temperatures and slightly lower heat index values tomorrow and Thursday. But as we head into the weekend, temperatures heat back up, low mid 90s. Heat index values could easily reach into the lower 100s again, but we at least have a few evening pop-up storm chances Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. Hopefully
hopefully we can get some rain.
We need a little bit of rain
Just a
out there
little bit.
for sure.
Absolutely. Well, corn silos along the Saginaw River are now a work of art. The silos feature the work of Spanish artist Acuda San Miguel. Acuda and his team painted 70,000 square feet of surface area.
The work is called The Evolution of Language. The project took 3 weeks to complete and replaced otherwise rusting silos. New painting is now one of the largest murals in the country. Certainly an impressive piece of art there. That takes a lot of work.
It really does. Absolutely beautiful.
That certainly beats rusting silo. Boy, he's covered in that paint too. Is he using spray paint on some of that? That's impressive.
Yeah, I wonder if it's all spray paint. I wonder.
You can do things with spray paint you,
really
may not
can.
imagine, but that's still an impressive
Quite the skill
feat.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.